Right. Good morning, all of you. I think the students also about to join from online. Right. So, very warm greetings for you all for this current affairs session. So, as usually, before we're going ahead, any doubts, clarifications, or previous sessions? Any questions? Hmm? Anyhow, though it is a routine, but still, right? We call the stereotyped ones, right? So you have to touch with the latest happenings. We don't know whether you will read the newspaper, listen to the news, or depend on social media or your Google for synopsis of different sites. But updating is very, very essential. That's one thing. And revision is essential. For example, 2 months back, something we discussed. Don't think that today is only today. Till your examinations, especially last 1 year, happenings are very important. And last 3 months are very crucial. So you should go on revising and revising, the revision. So number of times that repetition is infallible to success of memory. There's no option there. Okay. So your eyes should scan. Okay. So back to this week's the very crucial thing. And just today's newspaper, the Hindu talked about Supreme Court refuses to stay. Okay. The Bihar caste survey. Okay. So So these are today's headlines that arises. Already for last 1 week, there's a hot discussions are going on and arguments are going on for and against. And this for and against of this caste survey census is last 2 months also we have an issue. Finally, the Bihar government released its collection about what they called comprehensive caste survey. Okay, this they named it as CCS, comprehensive caste survey. Even Bihar, they used because like recently there is a tendency of using the Hindi names, Sanskrit names for everything. Even India we are calling as Bharat, right? So Indianization, otherwise we call instead of English. So let us do away with the colonial mindset, perhaps. So this comprehensive caste survey, technically called as, and now the Bihar said Bihar Jati Adharit Ganana. So maybe advisable to make note of this. So this is what we call no comprehensive caste survey, Bihar. Okay, of course it's very clear the issue of the eating as they're talking about the caste. So I don't know till that it's called as the jati. Then of course, as they are collecting the survey related, they said Adharit Ganana. So now it is your headache to how to interpret this one. Okay, as the Bihar, the majority is the Hindi belt, Hindi language, so they use this one. And whatever the Indian Constitution, though written in English, and major source for Indian Constitution in English, it was translated into all languages listed in the which schedule? languages, eighth schedule, translated. And Hindi is also one of the language in it schedule. But English version is the final. How you will translate is your choice, isn't it? So here, Bihar come up in other way. So the Jati Adharit Ganana, is it Ganana imply the census or survey? Huh? You are counting Ganana. It looks like a Hindi Sanskrit words also, right? Even our Telugu words also, like you are counting numbers now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? All the things it is considered 7, 8, 9, 10, all but. So you are counting in a way, counting the heads. Will it come under the English word census or survey? Bihar says it's come under survey, not census. Got it? It's a survey, not the census. Why they are specific about this word is the legal implications. The legal implications are very clear. Population census, right? When you're talking about, will be conducted every 10 years, right? From when the population census started in India? Sure? Not before? Huh? So if you look at from 1872 itself, process started. But from 1881, okay, it's become regular. So every 10 years, they are now 1881, 91, 201, till the 2011, it continues. Only thing is in 2021, we are not able to hold census. Why? Of course, the COVID scenario. Now, recently, the Amit Shah announced that in 2024, they are going to count it. And that is treated as 21. Okay. And now, when this is all be done, is very clear, either the previous British government or now the Amit Shah statement, it is the obligation or the power of the central government to do the things. That means it comes under what you call the union list, not of state list, not of concurrent list also. Whereas the population control is in which list? Family planning, all the things. That's under concurrent list. Previously, the state list shifted to concurrent list. By which amendment? Some items were transferred, no, from state list to concurrent list. Five subjects. Everything done in 42nd constitutional amendment. Okay. So, but population census, okay, is an exclusive authority of the central government. It's a union only, not state or not of concurrent list. Even 1948, the Census Act clearly talked about that. And recently, the Attorney General submitted to the Supreme Court also stating that, yes, it is an exclusive power of the central government. By the way, who is an Attorney General? Whom we called as Attorney General? Huh? So whenever we use these words or whenever things, see that you are aware of it. Otherwise, don't hesitate to raise the hands. Okay, either online or offline, you can. Then don't to recollect the things. Okay. So Attorney General is a legal advisor to the government of India, a highest legal office in India. Okay, who is the present one? Huh? Sure? Venkat Ramani, not Ramanan. Though it's a male, so Ramani. So, submitted it. very clearly. So when it is which list, which schedule, by the way, you said union state concurrent list. No arguments in a way. Okay. Yeah, Akila mentioned the seventh schedule. Himabindu also mentioned. Is it right? So this all in the seventh schedule. You will find this all union list, state list, concurrent list, and everything. So he's very clear on this. And 1948, the Population Census Act is clearly also talking about the power. Then how is that Bihar state can do that? The reason why the thing which you can't do directly, can you do indirectly? In the fundamental rights, you have the case, okay, and as well as, of course, number of cases are there, and the one doctrine came out in between, colorable legislation. What you cannot do directly, you cannot do indirectly also, right? That means you prohibited from doing, or if you are not allowed to do, and if you don't have the power directly to do, you can't do indirectly. Otherwise, but here it so happen census comes under union list, but survey can be do so. So just change the word, right? So playing with the language, the command we require, instead of using this word, that word. So helpless. Even perhaps that's the reason why they use this Hindi word also. The logically speaking, if we say why, apart from projecting that now Indianization we are going ahead, not rather than Anglicization, okay, rather than this English version or undoing. No doubt, this also perhaps, because always procedure is very important and derivative powers is very important, whether you have the power to do it or not. Otherwise, you can't do it, isn't it? So, when state has no power to conduct the census, still you wanted to go ahead looking for alternatives. Okay? And everywhere, no, when the law is nothing but playing with the words, so interpretation that matters. Even doubts arises, finally the Supreme Court is a final interpreter of the meaning of this. So they make use of this. Instead of census, they called a survey. And to make it every person, ordinary person to understand, they use these Hindi words rather than the things. And very talking about this jati, all the things. Okay? So legal points, mainly now before the Supreme Court, still in the Supreme Court, is a sub judice now. High Court of Patna, that is the Bihar Court, has given a green signal to go ahead. Still now in the Supreme Court. But Supreme Court has not given the stay order now. That clearly shows, okay, you can go ahead tentatively, okay, prima facie. But another issue apart from this, whether the center has the power or not, okay, state has the power or not, or both can do, right? Again, it's subject to interpretation, but finally now the Bihar has done it, and there every possibility that other states also will go ahead. Already Andhra is doing in a different way, its survey, right? They are in the forehead. So few more states on the line, and the demand for in other states, and there's demand heavily on central government also for next census. It should include the caste basis. Apart from this, who enjoys power, central or state? Another legal issue is what? Is of Article 21. That is right to life and personal liberty, right? And Under this, we got right to life, personal liberty includes right to privacy. Right? Right to privacy was declared as a fundamental right under Article 21 by which amendment of the Constitution? Which amendment to the Constitution? I am repeating the question again. Declared right to privacy as a fundamental right under Article 21. Huh? So it is not constitutional amendment. Okay. First thing you have to do is don't react to the question. Okay. Don't react to the question. Understand the question and question the question. Okay. You have to question the question by answering. Right. So it's not done by the constitutional amendment. Then who made it? It's a judgment of the Supreme Court. Okay. It's the Supreme Court in its order, in its judgment. In which case, right to privacy became a fundamental right? Right. In Puttaswamy case. Is Puttaswamy case, Aadhaar case different? Both. Okay. Or you can say, but popularly called as Aadhaar case, and actually it is a Puttaswamy case. Supreme Court clearly stated right to privacy is a fundamental right. Good. Now the bigger issue vis-a-vis caste factor is that now that you collecting my data, what is the security for that data? Okay, government is authorized to collect the data, whether state or central government. What is security? That's what recently, very much apprehension in Andhra state also, and allegation by the opposition stating that even few girls committed suicide, lost their lives, or disappeared. All these issues also going on. We don't know what's the reality. So when it's a personal, right, you are collecting, what's the guarantee it will not go into the third party? What the guarantee they will not abuse, misuse? No, in the recent law, the things are happening. So the security is very, very crucial of your data. That's what reason why recently we got data protection law. Okay. So this data protection bill, which became act recently, clearly meant for this individual citizens to have a say in that. Apart from getting the consent of individual, no doubt he or she only given voluntarily. And how far you are able to protect it? Can the state government have that required infrastructure to protect it? There's also a bigger question mark now before the Supreme Court. Okay. But anyhow, Supreme Court brushed aside. It won't come under the right to privacy. That's the reason why it has not given stay order. Though still that case is pending. Orally brushed aside. Simple reason, the privacy comes when this RAMESHWAR'S data was released or not. The specified name, right? Okay, VALI RAMESHWAR'S data is safe or it was given something. So it's very clear that the specificity is required, right? Here nothing like this. When the government is not disclosing the entire information, who is what, right? Only generalizing the data. No need for look into that aspect or add into the right to privacy. So right to privacy will not, there's an oral observation made by judge, and there's a reason why they're not given the stay order. Similarly, add a survey, not the census, immediately he can't. Now later Supreme Court will look into whether it's a colorable legislation, right? Beating around the bush and otherwise, or going anyway, or any abuse, misuse going on, or whether they have the required infrastructure to protect the data. Those issues will be looked into by the court in detail. Now it has given only notices. So the case continues, and anyhow the Bihar government announced the details of the data. only tentative, the phone no. Then even further more data is required in this. So understand this legal angle, because that's a very important for us from the main point of view. Then, so this data, which was collected, they said 63% of the Bihari population are from backward classes. Okay, not the thing is concerned. Here, they used a different parameter. When you talk about OBC, whenever you talked about backward classes, now that they're OBC again 27.13% only. Then how is that backward classes become 63%? SCs 19.65, nearly 20. Okay, and STs 1.68% only. So hitherto, when you say the backwardness based on the caste, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, OBC, that's all caste based. Now altogether, say even if you made this statistics, 27 plus, assume it, okay, here we will add is 27, 20, 37, 47, it comes around 48, 49%. How is that it becomes 63? They introduced a new concept again here, EBC. Generally, hitherto we use whenever EBC, economically backward, but not economically. This E means extremely. And point you have to keep in mind is not economic. Okay? It's not of economic. Hitherto said economically backward. Now they use the word for economic backwardness. What they are using the word? EWS. Economic, this EWS stands for economically weaker section. So EBC never be of now related to concern, economic related. Now the new word comes is extremely backward caste. When you extremely backward caste, not even classier. Apart from already listed in the BC list, others also they have taken into consideration. Okay, so they come up with the statistics of 63%. So if you count in Bihar, 4 out of 13.07 crores of population they have, extremely this backward classes itself count 4.70 crores. The poorest of the poor, otherwise we called it. So really astonished figure indeed. So need to be addressed with the statistics. So government reason, okay, it's stating why the caste census is sine qua non, that is very dire essential, is a must, because the fruits of the welfare programs that were designed by the government should go to the needy. Okay, not of greedy. Okay, the need and the greed arises. Is a needy, it has to be, and for that a data is essential. And here the quick recollection of the fact that in Supreme Court recently strike off the reservations that was extended to the backward classes, of course extended in a way, in Maharashtra, stating that there is no proper data. Okay, proper data is not there. How is that you just increase the quota? When no data, how you will increase the quota? So one of the reasons why it was struck it off, apart from crossing 50% limit, which the Supreme Court stipulated in famous Mandal case, or popularly called as Mandal case, but actually is Indra Sahane case 1992. Okay, in the Sahana case of 1992. So, to address that point, you required the data. So, to satisfy the judiciary or to cater to the basic needs of judiciary, that we may say this, because for its evidence is an essential. As evidence is an essential, you have to cater to the needs in tune with that. So, it is required. That's what the justification it made. And the consequences are very clear. When so much of population, 63%, what is their share also in education, employment, apart from education, employments, then representation. Representation now become very crucial, right? Now that women's reservation comes out in the Lok Sabha and state assemblies, 1/3 reservation. Naturally, there is no OBC reservation in Lok Sabha or assemblies related. SC/ST is there. Now the women quota is shortly coming it up. No BC part. So why don't you have? Because the legislatures are the voices of the people. So you can raise your concern there. So why don't you give the representation in tune with the size of the population? What is the term we call? Representation in tune with the size of the population. Proportional representation. Okay, the term, technical term used, proportional representation. Representation in tune with the size. Now there's a demand that, okay, yes, representation in assemblies and in Lok Sabha should be done in tune with the size of the population. So naturally, hitherto the open category will come down if that be the case is concerned. And this backward classes now they are more assertive. Okay, either because of their education or now they too become economically powerful, which once upon a time they are not. Okay, so they want their voice to be heard. They want to address their historical rigidities that make them exploited. That what no number of times said that to the few feel the oppressed, suppressed, and depressed. And now this education and economic power making them to be more assertive. Why should be? Even the recently I studied one on the name of the merit, you indoctrinated in such a way and exploited us. That's one of the statement it is concerned because the merit has to be take place, not the quota. Okay, not of reservation. The one of the argument against the reservation. Now the persons are saying what about the thing is concerned because India is a peculiar country where you will find this caste system only in Hinduism, never else, right? And very rigid. You may change your religion, right? But you can't change your caste. Why? It's hereditary. Okay? You can change anything. Even recently, 2 women constables applied, I think in Uttar Pradesh, I'm subject to correction, for change of sex. And wherein the state government is not able to take the decision, they approach the court. It's come under Article 21, personal liberty, right to life and personal liberty. We will live as you like. Man or woman is our choice. Now the technology is there. And biggest question before this government is that these women constables recruited under the woman category, right? Now that they become men, what about their position? Isn't it? But again, law, past it was done. Now they happen now. Can it alter? Isn't it? So right now, perhaps our fathers of the constitution or even Macaulay, okay, while making this IPSC or CRPC, not visualize this sort of scenario. Because the technology is such a vast in a way. So now you have an option. right? Even to marry or not to marry, unnatural things are going on. So if that be the case, why can't you, first of all, undo this caste system? And fathers of the constitution are very clear on this. When 1931, last census during the British regime, caste is also one of the parameter. After that, you never find that, right? 51 onwards, you never find the caste. Why? Because we wanted to correct these historical wrongs, right? So, first criteria, for example, untouchability stand abolished. Okay, untouchability had the roots with the caste system. The upper caste, lower caste. Lower caste was ill-treated. So let us first abolish this. Now, if anybody practice, become a crime. Which article abolish untouchability? Sure. And which act of parliament put a detailed version of what is untouchability, what sort of punishment will be there if somebody... No, no. It's again, of course, 1955. Untouchability Offences Act. Now it is renamed as Civil Rights Act, 1955. That details what is actually the untouchability, what sort of punishment will be done, and everything. Untouchability Offences Act, 1955, renamed as Civil Rights Act. Same year they made, only they wanted to undo even that in the course of time. The new generation should not aware. Okay, and similarly, to undo the caste system, one more fundamental rights added in Article 19. Can you tell me what is that? Article 19, to undo this caste rigidities, they added one aspect. Article 19 is talking about what? Freedom. How many freedoms? 6 freedoms. Freedom of speech and expression, the foremost thing, right? Freedom to form associations, freedom to move from one place to another, right? Freedom to assemble peacefully without arms. Then what is the most important thing? Freedom to adopt any profession, any occupation, any trade as at your choice. As the caste system is based on what? Profession, right? You are a priest, that means you are a Brahmin. You are doing some gold related activity, so you are the goldsmith, right? Everything was, right? It's a caste linked, profession linked, caste profession intelligibly. Now to undo that is very, very crucial. Okay, so correcting the historical wrongs, when you say this concern, or historical hesitations, you need to abolish certain things first. That's how sati was abolished, to make it the law as humanitarian. Humans should treat as humans. So you need to, even the child labor standard abolished. Then only the people's mindset will be altered. Otherwise, no. Okay? So these 17 and 19 specifically abolished the historical, so that a given a scope to the citizens of the country to go ahead now. No one is going to stop it. And similarly, very first fundamental right, right to equality. All are equal before the eyes of law. No discrimination on the basis of race, religion, caste. Specifically, they use the word caste. You have universal adult franchise, no discrimination, even the caste related. So, innumerable steps was taken by the government to undo this. And Special Marriage Act recognized intercaste marriages. Right? Now, once you have intercaste marriages and everything, what is the caste of the child? And again, unfortunately, of Indian patriarchal system, the social system, a male dominated. So, whatever fathers will come into. And one woman, a teacher in Tamil Nadu, struggled for 8 years finally got the no caste certificate. And after her, number of people started applying and getting the no caste certificate with the consent of the Madras High Court. If that be the case, if you ask me, I said no caste, where the question of your data? Are you now encouraging the caste-ridden society or casteless society? That's what an argument against. Because the fathers of the Constitution clearly visualized a casteless society. The reason why, even from the beginning, they had not included the caste census, though religious and other census was included, and the part is concerned. As there's a peculiar feature for that. For example, Christianity, you have sects. Christianity, Protestants and Catholics. Can Protestant become Catholic and vice versa? Option, you have wider option there. Right? So, when the choice everywhere, from what to wear, what not to wear, on what to eat, what not, everywhere else, why this rigidity? And again, for the mains point of view, keeping an analysis, an essay and everything, recently the Udayanidhi, the son of Stalin, right, invoked the concept of Sanatana Dharma. Right? Again, stating that he compared Sanatana Dharma with some cholera and malaria. So you need to eradicate them. What here the intention, if you look at positively, is that there are certain superstitions, there are certain inhuman tendencies that are existing in the Hinduism, become part and parcel of it. You have to undo them. Not that of completely the Hinduism or any other religion it is concerned. Isn't it? If you look at the positive way, not having any, what you call, parochial nature of ambivalent to thing is concerned. So, the historical wrongs need to be corrected. For that, what steps you are taking? There are only differences. There are only different perceptions are arising and need to be addressed. And for that, you require the data. And there what support way, arguments against, okay, is going on. And politically, okay, the BJP is against the caste census. It don't want to include it, which is the ruling party now. Whereas the Congress led even India, okay, that is, what is the full form of India now? Which of course it became a political party. I dot, N dot, everything is there. Last A stands for alliance. The reason why some are saying India alliance. Instead of using India, India alliance. Okay. If you even Modi use that word India alliance rather than India. You don't want to because the is concerned. What is India? Huh? What is the full form? So, because these are all the things remembered whenever the newspaper coming, though you are aware, getting in detail is very important. Okay? Indian National Democratic Inclusive Alliances. Okay? Right. So, they are two best, they are wanted in support. Okay? And some parties in India, unfortunately, based on caste system only. Like, for example, BSP, Bahujan Samaj Party. Basically, scheduled caste and OBCs, BCs. All are caste based. Even other parties moves around the caste. So, caste and politics, we can say an organic relationship. Inseparable. Okay? Right now. Very difficult, it looks like. So, it's getting more boost rather than receding to the background. So, all instead of treating this malaria, all urea you are giving. Okay? So, urea you will give to the right agriculture related so that good crop you will get. So, that sort of a boost you are getting by politics rather than undoing it. So, and again here, a quick recollection of our freedom movement. when caste system has to done away with this untouchability, and Gandhiji struggled a lot also. Even he coined a new word for these depressed classes. What is that? Harijan. Okay, I think once in civil service long back the question also arises. Okay, the groups and every the word Harijan was coined by, and they struggled for this. And when Ambedkar started depressed classes association, Republican Party stand for this and everything. And because of its efforts after roundtable conference, the government came up with what we call communal award. Remember 1932 communal award? What it is? 1932 communal award. Don't use the word reservation. It's not reservation. It is a separate electorate. Separate electorate for depressed classes. At the time, because of the Ambedkar, they started using the word depressed classes. Already separate electorate is existing in India from 1909 Act. Minto Morley reforms. Separate electorate for whom at that time? Muslims. And that divided Hindus and Muslims. So British rule of divide and rule policy got stimulus with that. And of course, most of the analysts says this, that is it showed the seeds of partition in India. The act that sowed the seeds of partition, separate electorate for Muslims of 1909 Government of India Act or Minto Morley reforms. Now later become India and Pakistan on the basis of religion. Similarly, 1932, the communal award wanted to give separate electorate for this depressed class. Separate electorate means what? One constituency, wherever the Muslims are majority or now the depressed class majority, they will have their own representative. They will vote for them only. And other non-Muslim, non-depressed class. So one constituency may be two representatives, one exclusively. So this is nothing but divide and rule policy. And Gandhiji went on, forced unto death. Where? Which jail? So is in Eravada jail. 1932 is against this one. And there's an agreement between Gandhi and Ambedkar. They come to the, what is that agreement is called as? Pune Pact. With that, the concept of reservation came. Ambedkar compromised, right? Then Gandhiji to the word, no separate electorate, let's have the reservation. So the seeds of reservation was sowed in Eravada jail. Right? Gandhi and Ambedkar Pact, the Pune Pact, based on the caste system. They are done away with that one. So Gandhiji's intention is very clear. Right? No divide and rule. No give any scope for the division of the people of India, either on religion or on the basis of caste. He saw it very clearly, 1909 Act consequences. Okay? Before, how the relation between Indian, Hindus and Muslims, and after that what. So, law will break it, the relationships also. Okay? So, we want to be alert in that way, and so that future generation should not. And again, Hinduism, once this sort of thing is concerned, it may affect very religion itself. Maybe that is a logically too he concluded in that way, and gone fast unto death, and finally succeeded in that. So a quick recollection of this one. Why later the caste has not included in 1951 census also. They don't want any sort of division political. Okay, of course, negatively speaking, upper caste wanted to dominate, and they wanted to rule more. There is another criticism from the other side. So, the few facts you have to keep in mind, all those issues. And finally, when come to the, of course, the census as 2021 not happened, but still the projected population, they're given in such a way because now we crossed China as well, but 2024 only officially announced, okay, what it is on the part is concerned. So any doubts on this caste-based survey? Clarifications? So what are the legal issues now before Supreme Court? Because the other case is still there. One is whether power, whether state government has the power to conduct the survey in the, conduct the census in the guise of survey. Otherwise, you may call it. Okay, they renamed it, right? Will it come under colorable legislation? Second part is that cap of reservation, 50% reservation. Now that there's a demand for, right, proportional representation, can it be flexible in the Sahana case 1992, where it imposed 50% reservation? Because if at all in future, by the demand is there and politician will go ahead in tune with the size of the population. And third aspect is right to privacy. Okay, will it affect the right to privacy of the individual? And fourth aspect is data protection. Okay, how it is going to all. So now these issues has to be addressed by the Supreme Court in near future. So those angles you have to give. And what are the consequences of this caste survey? Now there's a demand that every state should conduct it, and pressure on central government to include this caste aspect in the next coming 2024 census. That is one aspect. Then what else? Naturally, they demand more representation, not only in educational employment, but also in policy making. The legislature part is concerned. And of course, negatively speaking, the consequences, it is further strengthen the caste system. It may create the barriers among the people. Relationships may get affected. This is what all negative aspects may be there, they're thinking about it. Okay. Then what are the justification, arguments in favor of caste census or survey? Without data, you can do nothing. No data, no quota. To address the judicial discourses, yes, the data has to be collected. But most important reason given by Bihar for that any state government is the fruits of the welfare should reach to the poorest of the poor. The reason why they use this word extremely backward. Okay, so that already in the some castes already developed. So let us keep away. Again here in the Sahana case, you have to recollect another word which used by Supreme Court, creamy layer. What is that creamy layer? 8 lakhs cap. That clearly imposed not only the caste, economic criteria already included. Okay, not only social criteria, economic criteria is also included. So not only social justice, economic justice need to be addressed. Okay, and of course transparency is essential. Now how much data state government will disclose and will reserve is also the issue part is concerned. Then what the argument against? For example, Modi argued, no, is a dividing country on the caste lines. Okay. Apart from this psychological unity. Now that the country is facing innumerable problems, if you added this apart from this religious issues, linguistic issue, regional issues, now also the caste conflicts, it further weaken the national unity and integrity of the country. So like this, you may just add this arguments in favor, against, because as still the Supreme Court delivered its final version, the issues goes on. Okay, so you need to be looked into from all the angles, right? Any doubts? Then coming to the next item, 8 lakhs Cebu, Pune Pact, yeah, good answers. So Akileshri put forward the question, no doubt data helpful for targeted governance. How far it is overall ethical? Good question. So again, they said, okay, reluctance to take cost census by the ruling government, not benefit opposition parties. Okay. Right. Now, when it comes to the ethical part, of course, this is too general in a way. What is ethics, by the by? To make it simple, what is ethical to me may not be ethical. What is ethical to me need not be ethical for you, and vice versa. That means varies from individual to individual. That is okay, person to person. You may say, or time to time, country to country. That is otherwise called place to place. That fact you have to keep in mind first. And second, when you say what is ethics, it is nothing but something you are doing for the betterment of humanity in general. For the betterment of humanity in general, not of particular, not of selfish. Is in a way opposite to the selfishness. Okay, you are cutting the tree, you are planting the planting. Yes, future generation, no doubt, will get benefits. Cutting immediately. So that itself is an unethical, illegal, isn't it? So when come to the thing is concerned, what are the consequences of it? Based on that, you will decide whether a particular act is an ethical or not. If it benefit to the majority, that's what we have the concept called greatest good of the greatest number, utilitarian concept. If you look from that perspective, if it's beneficial to more, it's an ethical, right? When you say betterment of humanity, every act need not be benefit to everybody, right? Some may suffer also, right? So for saving 10 persons, let us kill one person. Some cinema dialogue is right. Recently, I'm seeing that old movie. Huh? What is that? Our junior NTR's. Huh? TVలో చూస్తూ I just Simhadri, right? Simhadri, right? Singamalai. right. So then he talked about, okay, maybe a dialogue is concerned. Though, of course, violence is not advisable, come what may, the thing is concerned. This is all based on utilitarian concept. A greatest good to the greatest number. Maximum satisfaction and minimum pain. Greatest happiness to the greatest number. All different versions. So that's an ethical. And if you look from that point of view, like hitherto few generation was oppressed, suppressed, and depressed, let us give a helping hand for them. Then it is justified. So that the fruits will be done. No doubt, once you increase the quota, based on this, hitherto beneficiaries or hitherto whoever enjoying it, and there's every possibility they may get affected. Okay? So, ethics sometimes demand sacrifices. Ethics again says don't sacrifice everything. Share it. Ethics says share it, not sacrifice. Share on what? Again, the bigger question comes, is individual, at the individual level, individual choice. I may give 50-50 sharing, one third I may share, right? When I'm eating some tiffin, suddenly you came, only that is there. I don't know how much I will share it, but has to be shared is an ethical. Giving everything is not ethical. You can't be with the empty stomach. But ratio proportions varies. So naturally, there's a difference of perception whether with ethics is concerned. But the caste-based survey can be justified on the greatest good to the greatest number, as hitherto some are suppressed, now rendering the helping hand and providing what you call social justice. You have to do that. Okay, I hope I addressed the question to some extent. Right. Now back to this news click. The today's news item again. FIR links news click case to legal aid for Chinese companies. So recently, the news click office was raided by IT, ED, everything, right? And then again, they were arrested by the police. Under what act? They are doing certain acts which are inimical to the nation. Now that they can't file a case, if it is previously on sedition, they would have filed a case. Now Supreme Court clearly stated no case should be filed against sedition. Though of course new laws which are coming up also undone this sedition. So no more that section exists. If not, what? No. You start with you. Huh? Ah. Very good. UPA. So Swati also mentioned in online. Right, good. So what is this UPA full form? Unlawful activities. Prevention is in bracket, right? Prevention Act. Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, previously called as TADA. Okay. So this TADA, Terrorist and Disruptive Activities Act, this was undone. Now it become renamed as or colored as UPA. Okay. Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. That means whatever every act should be in tune with the law, not against the law. So if anybody is going against, yes, this can be invoked. So now this news click founder, editor-in-chief, Prabir Purkasta and as well as Amit Chakravarti, they are kept under this UPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. So a quick recollection, it was done in a way starting from 1967 also in one form or the another it is there. Okay, this one, because at the time, even from the beginning 1952, you have the act called as MISA, very draconian act indeed, Maintenance of Internal Security Act. Okay, Maintenance of Internal Security Act. And if you quickly recollect 1975, what's happened in 1975? Huh? Emergency. Who was the Prime Minister? Indira Gandhi. Right. So, when emergency was imposed, which article? National emergency can imposed? Why are you, what you call, taking that much of time to answer it? Right? These are the things, right, which are hearing from your childhood. Social studies, it is there. Okay, now that you are preparing for competitive in a way. So this sort of things should come within no time. Yeah, Himabindu says this article 352. So article 352 can be invoked, the national emergency, either on external threat, like war-like scenario, like 1962-65, right? The wars with China, Pakistan, respectively. Emergency imposed. But 75 not on war. Already 1971 over Bangladesh aspect. Indo-Pak war on regarding Bangladesh. Internal emergency. Okay, at the time, internal disturbances. JP movement is going on. Jayaprakash Narayan's total revolution. Unemployed youth, right, on their legs against the government. And the similar way, election of Indira Gandhi was nullified by Allahabad High Court. So that triggered a lot. So it's something like Izzat Ka Sawal, then imposed national emergency on internal disturbances. And what are the major consequences of all that? Major consequence. Don't talk me, blah, blah, blah. Major, the topmost culprit is who? Who will suffer a lot, or what will suffer a lot? The moment emergency imposed, your fundamental right stands suspended. Out of fundamental rights, one crucial right automatically gets suspended. That's the thing that you have to come to the fore. Article 19, the 6 freedoms will stand automatically suspended by default. Remaining fundamental rights, if necessary, can be suspended by the president, except 20 and 21. Even that also came after 44th Amendment. 1978 they made. At that time it is not there. They can suspend everything. Now that Article 19 stands suspended, and 19(1)(a), what? 6 freedoms, 1A, B, C, D, right? 1A, 19(1)(a), freedom of speech and expression, right? Freedom of speech and expression stands automatically suspended, right? All the things is concerned. Freedom of speech and expression includes press freedom. So press freedom is, when you use the word press, it is implied here, not clearly stated. Implied, not clearly stated here. Okay? So this Prabir Pushtasa was arrested under Misa during emergency when he was in university, studying in university, okay? JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Students, they're protesting, right? The youth completely on this. Okay? Now that no more Misa. Misa become NASA. NSA, small a, National Security Act, now it is calling. So that much of not draconian NSA is. Okay? Is not that much draconian. But when Rajiv Gandhi came, and especially to address the brutal murder of of his mother as well, the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi then, because the terrorism is behind. So they came up with the TADA, Terrorist and Activities and Disruption Act. And that was misused, abused a lot. So again, to minimize that, you have this UPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Okay, again, it come up in a different way. Like this, it's changing in color. So finally, the Prabir, so under the visa, now under the UPA. So it's not new for him. So one aspect we can recognize that there are the few people still there, whatever they wanted to say, they will do this. They are least bothered about the authority of the state. Because fundamental rights meant for what? To protect you from the state authority. Because the power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts? Absolutely. Isn't it? So once you have the power, you are bound to use it and misuse it and abuse it. So use it good. Misuse, abuse. After all, we humans, right? Having our own egos, our own greed. So that need to be addressed by law. So for that, all these protections you have. Even if you are accused, you have the protections. Article 20 is there. Article 22 is there. Right? Now, if you look at Chandrababu Naidu case, everyone talking about procedures only. No one is talking about whether scam has taken place or not. No one is talking about whether he is involved or not. Only thing is a political color, and all procedures they are talking. Even Supreme Court they are talking about, right? Squash it. Reason of procedure, nothing else. So that's a very foremost thing. You can't say that. You can't ridicule that. Okay, till proven is not guilty. There's a law very clearly talked about. So this sort of acts by using, when Article 22 says, okay, arrested person should be produced before the court within 24 hours. This sort of UPA, or you may say APPSC, then what is the Kofi Posa, Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities Act, they are exempted. Even PDA, Preventive Detention Acts, you need not produce before the magistrate also within 24 hours. They will not get bail for longer period, like now Chandrababu Naidu kept under this process, right? What is the ground when the put is concerned? Criminal breach of trust. When the criminal breach of trust, it is non-bailable, because any allegation which may prove, if proved, lead to more than 7 years of imprisonment, you will not get the bail easily. As it's a 10 years plus, very difficult. Same thing on UPA. Even life imprisonment also can be done. So getting the bail is the biggest task now. It's not so easy. The reason why, even the Sedition Act also, why it was, because it was misused. Well, when you say this is affect the national unity, integrity, sovereignty, what it means? And Supreme Court in number of times stated that these are subjective. Don't just state that. Don't misuse, don't misinterpret. But in spite of it, government is taking it as an handy. Whoever goes against criticizing the government policies, unfortunately, treat it as criticizing the nation. And they are targeted. Now, apart from this, okay, when cases were leveled, if you say this, okay, some of the charges they mentioned: conspiring to provide legal aid to Chinese telecom companies such as Xiaomi, Vivo, which are facing tax evasion cases in India. Then acting against the national interest by promoting a false narrative against India's pharmaceutical industry and policies of the government incoherent with anti-national forces. That's what allegation. Because these are the people who have written against the government regarding its government policies regarding formulas, right? So they are targeted. Finally, government has to undo the formulas, not one page. And government allegation is that the other people incited them, right? So the narration is a good question mark. So if you take that narration, perhaps we should not salute Balagangadhar Tilak, right? But we revered Balagangadhar Tilak. Why? He may recently, no, we just finished Ganesh festivals. Ganesh festivals were revived by Balagangadhar Tilak. What is the logic behind and legal aspects behind? Huh? At that time, British government is also suppressing the freedom of the press. You can't do anything. So, and even unlawful assembly. If 5 or more% assemble, they are not going to allow. But religious aspects exempted. British government in one form or other never entered into religious aspects. So, Ganesh festival, which happened for longer period, he had taken the help, okay, of it. So, in the guise of this evening, no, when the gathering, all the people, all Harikathas and Burakathas, he started narrating the barbarian practices of the British government, how exploitative the British government practices, how laws are there. So he has taken this patriotic feeling, and that's what inculcated the patriotic feeling with the help of these things. So we need to bypass laws sometimes to take the point. Now you are saluting him. Yes, you are done well. So critical criticism is an essential in democracy. Of course, democracy is an hospitality of different interests. Agree to disagree is an essence, not revenge. Okay? Not vengeance. Okay? That's what now they use the word political vendetta. Right? In another case and everywhere. When the ruling party, opposition parties, right, these words are common. When the Delhi liquor scams case, they said the political vendetta, or in Chandrababu Naidu case, or recently the Mamata Banerjee's related some even amount was not sanctioned for this rural programs, MG programs. So raids, IT raids, CD raids, Kavita's arrest, all this considered the political vendettas, not against. So if you are against the government, if you ventilated your opinion, or you be targeted, right? Then what about your fundamental right? So now there's a reason why. Okay. So finally, the court will address the issue. They are in that way, and those may not stand. But of course, if really proven, now NewsClick is clearly saying whatever you invested in those companies is as per law. This is an open secret, right? So just investment, because you're it's a globalization, liberalization, you only promote everywhere. Foreigners are investing here, you are investing elsewhere. So investment is investment. How do you treat that? If I invested there, it is wrong. If I invested here, it's right. You invested right, I invested wrong. Right? So all the things will follow. Finally, it will not stand or may not stand to the law. But anyhow, let us wait and see what the Supreme Court is going to talk about on this issue. So recollect those anti-national. And remember, when 19 is talking about 6 freedoms, 19.2 is talking about what? These conditions. No law is absolute. No fundamental right is absolute. Everything is followed by reasonable restrictions. So you can enjoy your freedom of speech and expression without affecting the national unity, integrity, even Rahul Gandhi case, the word defamation. Okay, it's clearly there. So now the government is invoking using this 19.2 to suppress 19.1a. That's what the newspaper's grid is saying. Now let us see what Supreme Court finally will say on this. So any doubts on this? Now back to one more aspect. The center declared J&K Democratic Freedom Party as unlawful. Okay, another the Unlawful Prevention Act with the thing is concerned. The other day it declared recognizing political party, de-recognizing political party is an issue of election commission. It's the power of the election commission, right? Even allotting symbols and everything. But if that party is doing some activities against the nation, again 19.2, right? You can't do that. You have the 19.1, you have right to form an association. Freedom to form associations, including cooperative societies. Association include political party. But it should not affect the national unity, integrity, everything. Once you are talking about divisive, once you are in favor of the Pakistan, Kashmir should be mingled with or doing with, that means you are going against the nation, right? So keeping into this sort of the things, the Home Affairs Ministry has issued this notification, unlawful association for 5 years. Okay. So actions are based on inputs The organization has been involved in anti-national activities since 1988, and its members always promoted separatism, terrorist act in India. So 19.2 again invoked. So 19.6 freedoms is very important for you. I advise you to read and again between the lines. 19.1a is what, 1b is what, 1c is what. All the six you need to be, including the specific article you need to be aware. And 19.2, all the restrictions, 8 restrictions you need to be aware. Not only from prelims point of view, from the mains point of view as well. Objective number of things which are the following is included, not included. Okay. Then the descriptive point of view, when analysis goes on, quoting appropriate article appropriately will fetch you more marks. Not that you need to quote each and everything, but this sort of things which regularly appeared in the things you have to quote. So for that purpose, it's essential. Okay, you will do that one, right? Then of course, one more again, love jihad came into the fore the other day. This is different part is concerned. The Shara Shahdu's husband gets life imprisonment for forcing conversion. So this is an issue here. Okay. Here, the issue is when you say the love jihad, number of times we discuss, it is a Muslim boy love the Hindu girl and married. Either just before the marriage, after the marriage, the girl get converted to Islam. Okay, so if it's happened voluntarily, no issue with the consent, because every citizen has the power, or individual has the power, choice to have any religion. They can profess, practice, and propagate any religion of one's choice according to conscience. They can go ahead. Okay, that is a Article 25(1) clearly talking about that. But it should not be by force, by undue influence, by fraud, right? By mistake or misrepresentation. Act is clearly talking about consent should be free, not of otherwise. Free consent means the consent of not obtained either by force, coercion, undue influence, fraud, mistake, misrepresentation. Here, in this case, husband projected, this boy projected himself as an Hindu, and his mother also stated, yes, the Hindu, all the names they changed, the Hindu names. After the marriage, she come to know it is not. So it is nothing but a fraud committed on this. Okay? You, what you call, mesmerize the facts, everything. Then, after the marriage, she was forced to convert to Islam, for which she rejected, and for what she got the, what you call, a pain. Even later, once she able to come out and complained, even the marks of the cigarettes was also be there. So a brutal torture, physical torture, apart from the mental torture. So able to face all those things and stand her by conscience, and finally level the case. And once everything was proven, yes, she got now life imprisonment. Already the love jihad, to put an end to this, number of states, nearly 8 states, the BJP ruled in a way, they come up with anti-conversion laws. Of course, they are under now judicial scrutiny, because individually you can't. So let us see now the consequence of this judgment. Okay, as now it is proven, they are the few who are getting suffered, tortured, not only mental harassment, physical harassment, if not, and at least now she is able to come up and complain, but how many may not be silently suffering? Because woman is known for silent suffering. Then how to address this issue is the thing. So the consequences has to be done with this. Then of course we have the other day the into 28 triangle of electoral bonds. Can you tell me quickly? Number of times we discussed this electoral bonds. What is electoral bonds? Okay. So it is something like you are going to the bank and taking the DD or banker check, right? If it is local, and you give to your recruitment board, right? Submit. Of course, now everything is online. You are doing it, but here you are taking the bond in different formats only in SBI, State Bank of India, and that bond you are submitting to the or donating otherwise to the political party. So political parties will get donation no doubt from individual now in the form of bonds. That's called electoral bonds, and very transparent, of course. But the thing is, how much you political party got it knows, but who has given information is not there. So these bonds you will get it only in State Bank of India, nowhere else. In the denominations of 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, and 1 crore, you can contribute to the political party of your choice. And that party, once they may get it within 15 days, calendar days, not working days. Whenever you use the word calendar days, what it implies is not working days. No holidays, everything counts. Okay, it's a bank holiday, I'm helpless. Okay, can't say this. So from the date of issuance. So political parties now getting the donation openly in the form of electoral bonds. And if I purchase the political, I can give to any political. My name will not be disclosed. Only what, how much political party get is transparent. Who has given that information is not, because right to privacy again. It's my choice to give, not to give, how much to give. So all the issues will be there. So that will be there. So now that is big artists. So either it can be brought individually or jointly with other individuals, and can be purchased by Indian citizens or entities established. Only Indian citizens, not aliens. Okay, of course, entities means organizations. They can do so and not otherwise. So as now 5 states elections are gone, 5 or 8, 8 states, right? So political parties badly required money, and they got from this one. Of course, some criticism is that black getting white now with that. Okay, I don't know how far it's also fact. I was briefed that I have given around 20 lakhs plus donation to one political party. Okay, it's on record. If I look at the RTI, my friend says, "Amma, you have so much of money to donate." I said, "Where is the money? I have not given at all. I have not purchased anything." Then we look into the root cause. So once no, some of our neighbor who is a particular party, so just donate some amount from this party is concerned. So we just donated because the personal related is concerned. I think less than 200 rupees, 100 or 200. I am subject to correction at that point is concerned. And naturally, no, this electoral bond demands. He told me that on your name I will purchase the electoral bond. Okay, so it will be of we have to share our Aadhaar card number, to the bank, or the name, and if something else is concerned, he has took some basic information that, so we have forgotten everything also. Now, once they have this data, right? So on our name, they started taking perhaps, right? So black becoming white, and it's not come under RTI, though we come with the different sources. How it be on this? You RTI is beyond this. You can't ask anything on this. So again, back to international issues, and most important now for India, a question mark that happened internally. There's a change of president in Maldives. So bigger question mark is India first, India out. There's a policies in Maldives. One political party is in favor of India. Whenever that party is in power, they said India first, neighborhood first, like our policy. So first priority to India. Whenever opposition party came, it become India out. All Indians from Maldives should be out. No Indian army, navy, air force, or Indian cooperation, collaborations, all the things. That means they are a pro-China, like Bangladesh. Now Bangladesh National Party and Bangladesh Awami League. Two are there. Now Awami League, right? Hasina is India bent, and the other party Chinese bent. So unfortunately, this Chinese policy of what they call converting our friends into their friends. Number of times I told you. తెలుగులో అంటాం మడత పెట్టేసిండ్రా అంట. సో ఎన్వలపింగ్, enveloping, English posh word, envelope. Converted my friend, you convert to your friend. So he is no more a my friend. So all our neighbors are once upon a time, no? Indian neighbors, you have the SARC and all the things. Now China showing its aggressive stand and want its strong supporters. And this small countries, it wanted to make it. It is dependent on for the countries. So by using checkbook diplomacy and some what you call inherent blocks that India is having, the China is taking advantage of those. Right? When you say Indianness, when you say India, when the project will be completed, they said 1 year, 1 year, it may take 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. Nobody knows when it complete. But when China says 1 year, 1 means 1 year, 1 month means 1 month. So they have the technology, rapid thought, the concern. So like this, then India giving 100 crores, okay, we'll give you 1,000 crores. Okay, so more like this is viewing the members, and with this their BRI project. What is the BRI project? Belt and Road Initiative are the two components. One is road component and rail. Another is the sea component. Sea component is maritime Silk Route that is connecting the ports. Now all these neighbors, most of the neighbors like the Sri Lanka, right, Bangladesh, or for that matter Maldives, they required badly sea connectivity. Okay, the ports has to be added. So China is again wooing few politicians. So every country now, China, India. So Bangladesh same scenario, Sri Lanka same scenario, Maldives in same scenario, and to some extent Myanmar also. And of course Pakistan right now completely with China. No any division. Whichever party came to Pakistan in power, they are more bent of it because of this natural animosity that is existing. But in all other countries, so Maldives, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Myanmar, okay, Nepal, saw it very clearly. India bent parties, bent parties. So when they are in power, not in power, it reflects this tendency. So now that it will be there, so Mohammad Mujus now become the minister. Let us see how this continues. Then again, quickly, APPSC recently it started its operations in a way. So it initiative with Australia, the UK has given 3 UK businesses a £4 billion what for contract to design and build attack submarine powered nuclear energy. So, at the APPSC group, what is A stands for UK stands for US. A for Australia, UK for United Kingdom, nothing but Britain, US, USA, right? These three countries grouping, it is a strategic partnership to help Australia as nuclear power. So, nuclear energy related number of, the power plants like this, they have to go ahead, and nuclear submarines also, in the course of time, they wanted to give, so that it wanted to address uh, its different capability in Indo-Pacific issues. Of course, China considered it is anti-China to deter China. Let it be so. So, as that activity started, advisable to quickly recollect. Then the Bangladesh receives first uranium delivery as the first for its Ruppur nuclear plant. So now, like India, we got support from Russia for our nuclear plants established and everything, and Bangladesh too. Now that Russia-Ukraine conflict is still going on, least bothering about the Western bent, and it's an idea now Bangladesh go ahead. So the reason why it's become more news in a way. Okay, so it's a Russia-backed nuclear plant aimed at addressing the energy shortages. Okay, this is a 12.65 billion plant started way back 17 itself, completely maximum funded by the Russia with a loan covering 90% is funded, and it's a 1,200 megawatts ratio. And maybe by 2024 it is going to be operated. So like India, Bangladesh is also try to strengthen its relation with Russia, irrespective of the Western stand on the conflict. Then, of course, Canada, India is aggressive, okay, and diplomatic row continues, and we are also cracking down against the Khalistani terrorists in India, and their properties seized, and OCI card is also cancelled. What is OCI? OCI card, Overseas Citizen of India cards. To whom it was given? Is it for NRIs? It is for PIOs, persons of Indian origin. Okay? It's all civil rights they were given. They can invest in India. Okay? Even the children can pursue their education in India like Indian citizens. But no political rights. Though word citizen is used, without political rights, they can enjoy. And that was also cancelled. So it's going on the diplomatic row. And let us quickly recollect the Nobel Prizes, except economics, right? All other awards are announced. Economics is the last, okay, that is going to be announced shortly. So for medicine, the award being to two persons, Drew Westman and Katalin Kariko. For what for? For the development of malaria vaccine to tackle this COVID-19. Okay, so this is in the medicine and physiology. Anything, it means the same ideas. So the point has to be keep in mind. Okay, physiology, medicine. There is some that's confusing in the way on the part. Then, of course, regarding chemistry, the three Louis C. Bruce, Mongi Bavendi, and Alexei Ikumo for what? For the discovery of quantum dots. Just find out in detail. Okay, in the science and technology, perhaps you'll get that the part is concerned what actually this quantum dot about and the issues. Then in physics, Perry Agosti, okay, Ferne Krause, Annie Hillier, And for their experimental methods that generate attosecond pulses of light for the study of electron dynamics in matter. Now, recently also, Chandrayaan Suryana, right, the fraction of seconds, right, for us, it looks like gone into that. And because now the technology is in such a way, recently, a friend of mine purchased some land. He has been to, and we surround all the things, right? And everything is over. And later, just beside him, and we are setting now the satellite mapping, and everything is right. Let us see where actually it is. Because personally, I not saw it. Though overall glance, I'm aware of that area. The summer look this is a site I purchased. And once you click this, no, everything, borders and everything. And surprisingly, there is small, the local canal is passing by that. Mana Vagu antam. Okay? Because the rainy season, you are able to see the water. And he was shocked that there's nothing like this when he saw that. Okay? So he purchased land somewhere in April, May, is completely of summer season. And even iota of this, okay, some sort of a tributary of this natural canal, they not find that one. Now that, right, it's something in July, August, when you saw it, you are able to. Then immediately he made a call to the that past owner. He said, yes, that is there. Okay, small canal, but with the heavy rains comes, it will be this. Otherwise, no. It is concerned. Now the technology is that zoom it, right? Zoom, zoom, zoom. That is nothing, right? Seconds. Then I said, okay, this attoseconds, right? How much it be? So what is attosecond stands for? How much? Hmm? Hmm? 10. Right, right, right. So advisable to know those things. So it is this 1 into 10 minus 18, right? Power. Otherwise, we may use the word of a second. Faster than femtoseconds. There's another word, atto. There's a called femto. This femtoseconds is only of 10 minus 15 seconds. This is 10 to the power of 1 minus 18. Okay. So now they cross this femto. It's beyond this one. So once the technology is technology, you are doing a lot on this issue, right? So almost all in our general language said is a 1 billionth of a nanosecond. Okay, there's generally we use the word nanosecond. Nanosecond, when you say this, is a 1 billionth of nanosecond. So such when the things when they talked about, I just recollected it happening in a way. Maybe technology application, right? The usage and dot to the point. Even if you see this our sports, right? You will find it very clearly. No fraction of second they are able to do that one. Then of course in the literature, John Fossey for innovative plays and prose which give the voice to the unsayable. Voice to the unsayable. Okay. For that, he got the prize. And for peace, Nargis Mohammadi. Which country? Iran, for her strike to this. So the moment you said the Iran, suddenly we will recollect what recent the women's struggle in Iran. What for that struggle? Huh? Regarding hijab and dress code. And the one woman lost her life in a way regarding this. Who? Not Miss Mohammadi. Arey Baba, she's in jail longer time. Now Nobel Prize winner, they asked at least on December 10th, let she be released and receive the prize. And her name is very much popular because she inspired the women of Iran in this one. Then who is the person? Huh? And remember, this Mrs. Mohammadi is the 19th woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Maybe that statistics is important. 19th woman to win the prize, and second Iranian woman, not even the first in a way. So Iranian women, they are trying their best, okay, to come up in this in a way it is concerned. So first arrested 22 years ago. So going on arrest and arrest continuous thing. And for last, it looks like the news item was given today. For last 8 years, she is not saw her children. So in jail only. So in 2022, when Iran faced this hijab related dress code, the girl lost her life, the Mahsa Amini, right? Mahsa Amini. Okay. And her sacrifice, I mean, she was killed in a way, who had been arrested for violating Iran's strict dress rules for women, okay, at that point of time, and finally lost her life. So the Iran is struggling on this issue. And December 10th it is. December 10th is what? What day? International Human Rights Day. Don't forget that. Not Women's Day. So it's a Human Rights Day, International Human Rights Day, December 10th. On that, she will receive the prize. And we are the Indians, quick recollection of the Indians who received the no. These are all. Can you name it? Looking at this, you know pretty well. Rabindranath Tagore and Mother Teresa. Good. I win. Over. Okay. So Google it. Sure. Then, oh, Kailash. So is a quiz for you in a way. Okay. So look at and find out. Okay. Pictures who got this. Not Indian, right? Who? Is a Nobel. Alfred Nobel. Right? Whose name this Nobel Prize is going on this. Okay. So don't put his name is Indian part is concerned. Okay. So all the Indians, just I'm giving to you as a homework. Find out this way. And looking this picture, something in the Insta, I thought I think it may be good for you. The hard work can seen in her eyes. Is it seen? Able to see this in a way. So the Jyoti Eraji, once she made in history, become the first event Indian athlete to win the women's 100. But whenever the first always counts, right? And the sacrifice in a way. And then, of course, another Annu Rani become the first Indian to win the gold medal in javelin throw. Okay. So these firsts always is important. Now the Asian Games are going on. And I think we crossed 100 overall medals. Crossed. So century did. And then let us see. Final thing and counting everything. Okay. Then, of course, Neerav Chopra. Now this golden boy. See this all the records. Exam can't be ruled. Which are the following, not following. Questions may be on this. So advisable to go through it. Then, of course, in science and technology, China is again going in aggressively. Now China to double space center. They are doubling its space center and flows alternative to ISS, International Space Station, now holding by NASA, and its lifespan is going to be end shortly. So now China is coming forward on this one. Okay, Chinese space station is known as Tiangong. Okay, so that you can just go through the details. Then of course ISRO too plan to start space tourism. So shortly you may get into the new announcement on this. So take the trip will also be called as astronauts. Okay, this is how. Okay, this is mission they are going in a way. So let us see how far it is. But only it costs six, not rupees, crores rupees only. Okay, so by 2030, so be an aspirant. Now you have time of another 7 years. So by next year you should become a civil servant. Okay, and earn a lot, of course legally. Okay, huh? Because the generation two is required. So let's see this in concern. Maybe you got a special privileges. The government of India may allot, okay, few persons. Then of course, SIMBEX has the 30 years of naval cooperation. What is the SIMBEX stands for? Singapore, India, wonderful. That even if these two, if are able to do that, as 25 years, 30 years, this sort of thing is important. Okay, maritime. Okay, bilateral exercise. So maritime implies the ship-related activity. This is all. Then, of course, after lithium in Kashmir, another rare metal, vanadium, a key for batteries. Now that everything EV technology, and that was found in the Gujarati coast. Last week I thought of quitting. I think I not included this, so I included now in this part. Then, of course, Hyderabad again on the national, international issues for its solar roof cycling as India's first. So naturally, and attractive questions also this, and an initiative of the Telangana government, and world class first where it is, which is it a world first also, or any country is having this. So take your bicycle and ride in the way, then you will experience and the part. Then of course, recently the Modi announced for the tribal university and named after Samaka Saraka, right? So the university name and this part is concerned. So that's all for today. So any doubts, clarifications from the online? Senbo, Ravindra Tagore. So two names finally mentioned. Others has to be to be. Okay. Anyhow, the Nobel laureates identify with the face. That's my intention, not just knowing the names. Identify with the face. Right. So thank you very much. So meet you again next week. Bye bye.